Hi there, Dr. Gary here on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. We are dental practice brokers. I was a dentist for 25 years, now doing the brokerage for 15. Actually, it's 16 years now. So today's topic is seller of a dental practice puts too many demands on the buyer for post-closing employment. We'll get into that. Whoa, is it bright out here? Put my sunglasses on, team. As a true story, we're going to kind of get into what happened, how the deal fell apart. But as you know, we now have 10 employees. We're in 25 states, and we work every day except Christmas and Easter. You can reach us at 201-663.
Car on shoulder ahead.
And websites dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwidedentalpracticebrokers.com. Just give us a call. So, if you also, by the way, everything you're listening to is excuse me, I'm getting over a cough. Everything you listen to is entertainment. It is not legal advice. All right? Now, if some of you have a large practice, very large, over 1 million and 5 operatories more, willing to stay on after a closing, after a sale, could be an opportunity for you to sell to one of the DSOs, corporate dentistry. You know, they pay higher than a private buyer, provide a lot of benefits, and they have some stock options. It could work out well for you, depending on which one. We do work with them, and often they will they will pay our commission. So often there's no commission to the seller. So give us a call on that. And also, anybody that is over 1 million, sells their practice and is with us and is over $1 million, we will, upon successful closing, we will be more than happy to reimburse the legal fees based on some minor criteria, but we reimburse legal fees. We've done that many times. So give us a call on that. We can talk to you about that. We've done that often. So what do we have now? All right, we're coming down the home stretch on this deal. This is a kind of a record sale, but regardless, because Doctor lost his lease and it happened abruptly. We thought they were going to extend. The landlord gave us some extensions. Now there's on a month-to-month. Landlord said, that's it. Your lease is over. I've given you 3 months extension, month-to-month. And you don't want to sign on, so I have to vacate the premises. So it became a record sale. Okay? And also somebody else was taking over the, somebody else was taking over the space. So the dentist lease expired. Landlord gave him a few extra month to month, but then the landlord needed the space, so we couldn't provide it. So the seller is really just selling records. Okay, so the process is going well. We're 4 days away from closing. So there's no landlord involved because you're moving your records to the new doctor. So there's no landlord to negotiate with. But the seller was going to work for the buyer and bring his staff with them. So that is pretty good for a transition. You kind of want that. If you're buying records, you got to have the seller around a little bit, except if it's extraordinary circumstances, like during COVID. A few of the dentists said, I'm not going back, I'm done. And I'm not working for anybody again. And people did buy, but they paid less money. So anyway, this is a pretty good deal for the seller, buyer. Here's what happens is we got closer and closer to the closing. A week and a half before, the seller starts putting demands on, like when he's going to work, what hours he's going to work, and what all these specialty supplies he needs. And the buyer said, well, I don't feel like buying all this new equipment and everything, and can't you utilize what I have? The sellers insisted, no, I have a high-touch dentistry. I need these supplies or else I can't work. And the seller said, I'm just not comfortable buying all these supplies right now. Could you please try to work with me? And let's see what we could do and get the work with my equipment. And the seller was very insistent. And this was a big deal. Very insistent. The seller was insisting on the days he wants to work, insisting on the number of hours, insisting on the equipment that had to be purchased before he got there. It's like he can't work with the doctor's operatory light, had to replace the light. It's a couple $1,000s. So the buyer's like, well, I really don't want to replace my light. And this guy uses, I don't know what kind of light he was using. It's so specialty that he couldn't use a regular dental op light. And this started wearing out the buyer. The buyer started getting uncomfortable. The buyer thought, if this deal goes through, this guy's going to be difficult, gal's going to be difficult. I don't think it's going to be a smooth closing. So this went on and on. And I could see that I warned the seller. I said, will you forget and drop this about the buyer has to buy a special dental operatory light? I mean, that's a couple $1,000s. You got a light above the chair. Why would you, do this? And all these other special supplies it needed. And the buyer was just getting agitated. That's it. He was agitated and didn't want to deal with it. And sure enough, there was more to it. The buyer felt that this will not be a good fit. And the buyer said no. Closed the deal down about a week beforehand. That rarely happens. But that happened on this situation. Rarely happens. Usually everything goes through okay. But it just didn't happen. So he shut the deal down. The buyer shut the deal down. The buyer didn't feel comfortable. He felt the demands were too strong, unjustified, and that thing with the dental light completely drove him crazy. And that's what happened. So the deal fell apart. You got to be really careful. As a employee dentist seller, you've got to just be a little flexible. You've got to be a little humble. You've got to remember you're now becoming an employee. You're no longer the employer. So, work with it. And if you're a little more humble, you're easygoing, it should go well. So, it works out real well in the end. But this situation, gone. Lost them. Buyer's gone. Now, obviously, what we're going to do is we're going to run around and we had always keep backup buyers going. I always stayed in touch with backup buyers. And fortunately, I told all the backup buyers, any deal could fall apart, 20% chance, even if it's a day before closing. Minimum 20, sometimes 30% chance. As you get closer to closing, it's rare. But, I've had a few, not too many. I've had a few. One guy was at a closing and he walked out, said he's going to go check the equipment of the office, which is like 20 minutes away. We said, well, go ahead, come right back. He went south, never came back again. These things happen. It just happens. So this buyer left. Fortunately, I had backup buyers, and within 6 hours, other buyers that we're talking to were already on the phone with the seller. Already on the phone. Talking to him, communicating. And I set this up ahead of time. I wanted the first buyer to go through it and put all my effort into that, but I had to have backup. Got to have backup. And that's what we did. All right. Well, team, it's middle of winter. I'm going crazy. We're leaving for a cruise seminar that I'm conducting down the Caribbean, down in the Bahamas. It's going to be great. We have a couple dentists going, and we're excited about it. And hopefully you can come on that. We should be getting the continuing education credits really soon. So give us a call, and we're already booked for next year. That's going to be January of 27, already booked, ready to go. Give us a call. We'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you. Bye now.